Hello, everybody. It's day 69, one more day to day 70. And what is our topic for today? Our topic for today is JSON. Today, I would show you how you can import JSON, how you can parse JSON data, how you can convert Python objects to JSON, and how you can undo some JSON errors. My name is Fumilayo, and this is day 69 of the 100 Days Python Programming Challenge. Day 69. Let's go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 69. Day 69 of 100 Days Python Programming Challenge, and the topic is JSON. If you don't know what JSON is a lightweight data interchange format that is easy for humans to read and write, and also easy for machines to parse and generate. So today I would show you how you can parse JSON data, how you can convert Python object to JSON, how you can undo JSON errors, and some real world use cases. So this is similar to what a JSON data looks like. You have keys and you have values. You see here our values can be a string, it can be an integer, it can be a list, it can be a dictionary, it can be whatever. Just has to be key and value pairs. So it is similar to a Python dictionary. So in Python, Python has a built-in module called JSON that allows you to work with JSON data. So the first thing that I will show you is how you can parse JSON data. So convert is just like converting JSON data into a Python dictionary. So first I would have my JSON data. Again, JSON data is key and pairs. So I have my JSON data of strings. We have name, we have age, and we have that is a student. And then to pass your JSON string, what do you use? You use JSON.load. So we would have our parse data. Our parse data is equal to JSON.load. And what are we trying to load? We're trying to load this JSON data. So this is how we pass JSON string. A new variable, JSON.load, that's our function, and we're passing JSON data. So let's now print out our parsed data. And when I run this, we have our parse data. So now it's now a Python dictionary by using JSON.load. And how do you do it if you want to access an element in your new dictionary? So for instance, if you want to access the name, the key name, we will do this. We'll do parse data and then name because we want to get the value of our name in our parse data. And when I run it, you see we get Alice. So this is how we convert our JSON string into our Python dictionary by using JSON.load. JSON.load and then the variable name of the JSON string that we want to convert into a Python dictionary. So what if you now want to convert a Python object, a Python dictionary, into a JSON string? So we want to do the reverse. So we use JSON loads here. To do the reverse, we then have to use JSON.dumps. So JSON.load to convert JSON to Python dictionary, JSON.dumps to convert Python dictionary to a JSON string. So let's have our dictionary, our data that we want to convert. So we have our name, age, and we have is employed true. And then to convert it similar to this, but instead we'll use JSON.dump. So we have our JSON string equals to JSON.dumps and then our Python data. And when I print this, we would have our JSON strings. So this is how we're able to convert from dictionary to JSON, from JSON to dictionary. There's also something that you can do to prettify your JSON, to make your JSON look nice. So we'll use the indent. So when we set our indent to 4, it's then pretty print the JSON string. So you see now it looks a little bit better than the way it looks here because we set the indent to 4. So when you add another parameters to your JSON.dumps, so we have our Python data, that is the Python dictionary that we want to convert, and then we add indent. What is indent? Like the number of spaces. We want it to have 4 space indentation. And then we have our pretty JSON. Another thing that we'll talk about is handling JSON error. So you will always have to handle potential errors when you're working with JSON, especially when you're parsing or you're loading a file. So if you're loading a file and then there's an error, rather than your function failing. Again, go watch the try and accept, go watch the exception handling video. Instead of it to fail, you accept the error and then you print out a message telling you when or how or why the code failed. So we have our JSON.load and we're trying to load this data, and then we're expecting that we'll get a JSON decode error, and then this is what we want to print. We want to print that there's an error decoding JSON, and then we want to put like the message, what is the error? So that is the E. So when I run this, we have that there unterminated string starting at line 1 column 10. So this is how you undo JSON error. You put your try where you expect that there might be an error, and then you accept it, and then you print like an informative message telling you what the error is. So this is just an example. So now let's try some real world use case. So I want to create a small project that would store the user information in a JSON file, and then it will retrieve said information. So I would have two functions. The first function that saves my user information into a file, and the second function that I would use to load my information from that file. So, and then my first function, which is save user data. And what data do I want to save? I want to save my user's name and my user's age. So I would use the input statement to get the input function to get the input from my user. So this is my function. I've defined my function. File name is the name of the file to save my data, while user data is the dictionary that contains the data to save. So now I would open my file and write to my file, and I would use the json.dump, not json.dumps. You'll see the difference between dumps is when we use dumps when we're trying to convert a Python object to a JSON string. But now I'm using dump because I want to write to my file. So not dumps, dump. When it is a file, it is dump. When it is an object, it is dumps. So then I would have my file with open, file name as file, and then I want to dump my user data into that file, and then I would indent it using 4 space indentation. So with open, opens my file with the name specific in the file name and is in write mode. It opens it as file. I'm using with because this ensures that the file is properly closed after writing. And then I'm using the json.dump to write the user data dictionary into a file, and indent equals to 4 for format the data with the indentation. And then I'm printing the confirmation message to the console after my data is saved. So this is my save user function, save user data function. The next function is then to load the user data. So I'm defining a function that is taking one argument, which is my file name. And then file name is the name of the file that it should load from. And then I want to have a try and accept that when it tries to open the file, if the file does not exist, then I want it to print out a message that the file does not exist or file not found. But if it exists, I want to be able to load the data. So I'll use json.load and not json.loads because now we're working with file. So we use json.loads and json.dumps for string conversion, and then we use json.load and json.dump for file operation. So this is my try and accept. The try is used to undo potential errors when I'm opening or reading from my file, and then it attempts to open the file in read mode. If the file doesn't exist, then it raises a file not found error. And I use JSON.load to read and pass the JSON data from the file. And then the data is stored in my data variable, and then it returns my data, which is a Python dictionary. And if the file is not found, then I print out a message that file is not found, and it returns an empty dictionary, allowing the program to proceed without crashing. So then, what is now my file name and what is my user data? My file name is going to be user.json. You can use whatever file name that you like. And then for my user data, I'm calling my load user data with file name to load the existing user data. And then I want to store the result as a dictionary in the variable user data. So what it's doing, it's loading the information and storing the result in user data. So next I would have my input statement to collect the information from my user. So I want to collect the name and then the age from my user. So I would have name and age variable, and then input your age and then int, because when you use input, you're getting it as a string, and the int is converting it to an integer. So once I've gotten the input from my user, it's now time to update my user data dictionary. So I want it to be in this format. I want the key to be my username, and then the value should then be with the user age. So you see user data name, that is my key, and then age is now my value. And then I call my save user data function. Once you have gotten all the inputs from your user, the next thing to do is to save. And this would save my data in the user.json format. So this does the complete workflow for reading, updating, and saving data into a JSON file. So now that I run it, you see I'm prompted to enter my name. And when I enter my name, next enter your age, 98, and then we see that our data has been saved successfully. So now let me open the user.json file. So this is my user.json file. See, it is perfectly indented because we put the indents to 4. And see, my name is then the key, and then the age is the value. So that's what we've had to do today. How to create small projects that stores and retrieves information. I showed you how you can undo JSON error, how you can convert Python object to JSON, and how you can parse JSON data. That's it for day 69, and I'll see. That is it for this video. Do not forget to subscribe, to like, and leave a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. And as always, the link to the Jupyter notebook is in the description. See you tomorrow.